Howdy Chunky, it's the voice of reason for a fabulous Tuesday where it's so cold I've put the heating on the 19th of August. Yes, happy summer everyone, and a Merry Christmas. They'll be sticking the decorations up. I'll be sticking mine up soon as well, don't you worry about that. And of course, garden centres will be playing We Wish You a Merry Christmas, so the fucking heating's going on. I've had a lovely package poked through my cat flap from June and Stuart, who have so kindly sent me a gift for the various civil serpents that I'm having to deal with at the moment. We're going to give them 2 fingers. My audience are the funniest and the best. You can write to me if you'd like to at Stalk Alex, PO Box 11,460. This morning, the news is not going very well for the BBC. They struggle to keep their nose clean, don't they? Well, according to the police, who are now investigating the people who like to sniff the white stuff. They've been brought in over strictly. Not a very good start to the BBC Studios production. Nothing to do with you and your licence fee, by the way. It is entirely owned by BBC Studios, so we won't profit from it. Yes, the £1 billion company that seemingly owns everything now, including Alex Jones on The One Show. They must be so proud. As we look through the news this morning, little Sadiq is proving again what a little odious man he is in London. I will play you a clip in the No BS, Ofcom free and not PC news, what's going on in Trafalgar Square, but we have to just filibuster a little bit to waste time before we get to that. But look at him, he's kicking off, showing off and being made to look like a complete pilchard at the Assembly.
I called an officer who can't respond dumb and dumber. I'd apologise, but I haven't. Had I called somebody a stupid fat blonde woman, I'd apologise.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I'm asking about yourself and whether you would like to apologise. That's about you?
No.
Chunky, if you like what you see, do join us at alexbelfield.com. We're shushy here. You can even get one of these at alexbelfield.com. But join us for the news at 6 a.m. and the phone in tomorrow night from 9. And, of course, subscribe here. That would really help. We are finally going up slowly. But as quickly as they're deleting people, more of you are joining the party. Free speech will never be silenced. We have to stick together. I'm buying up all stock I can, by the way, with the Union flag on. We're going to launch that soon and try and get some VOR flags too. As you know, I've been banned from the September 13th flag waving event in London, and the authorities so scared by my huge enormity, it's clearly not downstairs, that they have banned me from London on that day. They've also banned me from Edinburgh, just in case I offend the lefties who want to talk about how wonderful Keir Cars is at the Edinburgh Festival. What a bunch of fucking characters. All I do know is we have to stick together right now because they're trying to divide and rule. They're trying to piss off a nation. They're trying to incite quite a lot of argy-bargy, and we'll have none of that. We're not going to fall into their trap of what they're doing to us subliminally, what they're trying to do behind the scenes that we bring to your attention every morning in my 30-odd minute news, Monday to Saturday. And it is odd, by the way. The news has never been more peculiar. This morning, for example, £33 bonuses if they get somebody off their waiting list at the NHS tells me that they can't wait for you to be dead. It reminds me of my situation with probation, I think. They have the same philosophy there too. Thank you for all your support over the last few days. It has been incredible. I have to go public because when they shoved me back in the pokey for words, having not broke the law and having told the truth by their own admission, I need this to be public domain. Talking of which, I had a note from Active Patriot on Twitter, who is this wonderful man who goes around filming the various barracks where the dinghy divers are staying to form their army. He has been arrested and raided twice, he told me, twice. They're doing the same tactic to him. I was raided 3 times, of course, without a warrant, and they do it to intimidate, to bully, and to silence, to hope he goes away and stops. I don't know whether he will. I don't think he will. But they have gagged him socially. They have stopped him on social media, and they've stopped him being able to tell you that he's even okay, which is scandalous in this country. We are living a dystopian nightmare. 1984 is before us, and we have to stick together. We cannot allow ourselves, me mainly, to be provoked into doing something that justifies their reaction, because that's what they're up to at the minute. Right, we've done the flotsam and jetsam. Let me get on with the news now. These are some highlights from today's news at alexbelfield.com and yesterday. So see what you think. If you like it, do join us. Thousands of you tuning in at 6 a.m. to hear the 30-minute bulletin Monday to Saturday. And the phone-in on Sunday was unbelievable. We had a call from a lady called Louise, who was at 14 years old, affected by 4 PDF files who dragged her in a van in West Yorkshire. 4. They were Muslim Pakistani men. That story over 45 minutes that you could never hear here, that you could never ever broadcast terrestrially, and the government and the authorities would deny, is in full now at alexbelfield.com. The book is being printed as we speak, and that will be sent out in the next 10 days. It's all going very well. I've ordered a load of Union flag stuff and St. George's stuff so that we can have a party together and keep celebrating. They can't stop us. And Keir Starmer says, oh, yes, I'm a big fan of the flag. Well, tell your fucking councils to behave themselves then and stop getting rid of the flags and pulling them down. It is grossly offensive. And in no other country in the world would this be tolerated. It's shameful. We have to stick together. It is only the unity of great patriots that will save this country from what they're trying to do to us. They are trying to convince us that bringing unlimited illegal migration into this country is okay, and it is not. It is not safe. And I document many stories this morning on the news that proves it. Right, let's play you the best of the No BS news from this morning at alexbelfield.com. Donald is going to save the world. Oh, don't you worry about that. Putin met Trump on Friday. Look at the video here of them walking, all statesman-like. I like it. Of course, it's little and large, revisited for 2025. What I love about Trump is he says, we're not going to be fucked with. Look at my military power. He has his planes flying over. Show them, Tarquin. Just look at that. Absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, though, Boris has to stick his nose in and have his say, as if anything that rag-haired, scruffy bastard who didn't have a shave has to say is of any importance to us, whilst the kids are screaming in the background. I presume they're the 14 that we know about.
There have been few diplomatic spectacles more emetic, vomit-making and generally chunderous than Donald Trump welcoming Vladimir Putin onto American soil after 3.5 years in which Putin has been butchering the Ukrainians.
It was uncomfortable, though, on Friday. Apparently, Putin was trying to say, I have the biggest pair of kahunas. And then Trump would say, no, I have the biggest pair of maracas. And then the next one would say, I have the largest schlong. And the next one, you get the idea. Well, this is video of them, as you can see here, hissing at each other and doing a marvellous job of making it all look rather stupid. What we do have, though, is some brilliant video footage of the meeting in Antarctica. What a wonderful place for the president of Russia and president of the United States of the world to meet. It's as if they've been on a world cruise together. Play the video, Tarquin.
Snow is falling down in Alaska town. Trump's on the sled, Putin spinning around. Laughing in the cold, side by side, slipping on the ice in a friendly slide. Hey, hey, what can we say? Peace feels easy on a snow day.
We're going to talk about the vigilantes and whether they are vigilantes or in fact they're just vigilant. I mean, vigilant and vigilante is very similar, isn't it? But first, Muslims have cancelled the Barbie because of a gay scene. They don't want to see two men stopping. Now, there's a very good point here that should be made, is who is that aimed at and what kind of brainwashing was within it? Now, it's not going to surprise you to know that I did not find myself going to see Barbie to see some cock-a-doodle-doo before he cock-a-doodle-did. I wasn't interested in it. I was too busy keeping my eye on the Donald and the Trump to find out what was going on with Putin to go and see the Barbie film. But should there be homosexual scenes in Barbie? It's a children's film that really shouldn't be about sex, full stop. So maybe they've got a point on that one. The vigilante thing, though, is a word that's now being used that we need to be very, very careful of. Because they say vigilantes, didn't they, with the pedos that went off to stop the children, and they keep finding them on the internet and putting them on the internet. And I say fantastic, but where is the line drawn between harassment and hurting their feelings and boo-hoo? Are these people going to be sent to jail for outing pedos? But now they're vigilantes, they're saying, are doing the same with the dinghy divers. Well, if it weren't for our community journalists who are out there doing great work, we'd know fuck all. For example, this guy just went to one of the hotels and finds alcohol in all the bins, all the boxes from the alcohol. Well, they weren't meant to have alcohol. And if they are having alcohol, who is paying for it? You're paying for it. Watch this.
boxes of Peroni. So they must be selling alcohol in this migrant hotel. Must be distributing alcohol, look, for sure.
Assumption again.
Well, you've got boxes of alcohol, geese. So I'm not saying it's an assumption, am I? This is an assumption, people.
Who uses this bins?
Well, it's on your land, so I presume it's you.
So how do you know that?
Well, it's on your land. You told me this is all your land.
I hear that, but how do you know we're not working with other organisations?
But you just told me.
I'm telling you this is a private.
You told me.
I'm telling you this is privately.
You told me.
This is owned by private.
Yeah, you told.
Can I show you some video out of London, Tarquin? Firstly, this is astounding and disgusting. This is the clip of an Uber which is opened by a mental case, and he tries to rip the door off in London. Watch this.
I mean, it's an Uber. Can you drive away, please?
I need to call the police. I
Yeah.
can't.
Can you imagine how horrific this must be? Seriously. I mean, this is just the stuff of third world countries where people are ripping off the doors of taxis in our capital city. It's totally unacceptable. And then let's just remind ourselves, another clip from the Assembly in London, which I love. Sadiq, of course, couldn't be asked to turn up because he's too busy allowing more dinghy divers in. 1 in 12 people is going to be 1 in 11 people soon. And before you know it, it'll be 1 in 1 people. We have no fucking clue who they are because the rest of us indigenous people will move to Swindon or somewhere like that. Let's just see this brilliant clip of the lady ripping a new arsehole to the deputy crime commissioner, who was marbled mouth and didn't know who to blame in terms of who is responsible for the budgetary actions of the police. Well, of course, it is now the Labour government. You can't keep blaming the Tories. Watch this.
My understanding, yes.
Okay, can you confirm when that came?
So the funding settlement from government was just before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then we did...
And thank you, Assistant Commissioner. And Deputy Mayor, can you confirm which political party was in government at that time?
I can confirm that the Labour government of last year gave a record number of funding to...
Sorry, you've just heard the Assistant Commissioner confirm that that was the point at which there was a funding gap in the Met for London, and that is the reason why we are closing police stations today. Now, the Mayor told us with a Labour government and the wind in his sails that things would be so much better for Londoners, but we have just had it identified by the Assistant Commissioner that the reason for this gap is because of the Labour government previous to Christmas and their police settlement. Now we have a gap of £7 million, which means that we are closing these police stations. The Conservative group were the only group on this assembly that put forward a budget amendment to put an extra £122 million into the Met. Why did you not accept that?
I think that the Assembly member knows that the budget gap wasn't caused overnight by one government's action, that the Met has been systematically underfunded for over a decade.
Well, funnily enough, when there was a Conservative government, we were happy to... the Met for London plan was made under a Conservative government and it was funded. You have just heard from the Assistant Commissioner, he is sitting next to you, that it occurred under a Labour government. When are you going to take some culpability for your mayor and your government?
Iceland are saying they're going to give you £1 as a reward if you dob in somebody for shoplifting. Sorry, it's not my job to dob you in if you want to be a thief. It is security's job and the police to enforce it. For £1, I'm not going to risk being stabbed, right? Let me make this clear, Iceland. I'm not putting myself at risk for £1, which, by the way, won't even buy a fucking carrier bag these days, so that you can have a better shop that's safer. Get security, and let's change a country where if you nick £200 worth of shopping, they might consider thinking about popping down to have a chat if they've got time. Anything under £200, they just write it down and do fuck all about it. So every criminal, scrote, every scumbag druggie knows that they can nick what they like up to £199 with absolutely zero consequences. It is sickening what we've become, but it is there in black and white. And it is now undeniable as to what's going on in our country, where we just see everything not making sense. Like you can fly a Pakistani flag, but you can't fly the Union flag because of health and safety, according to Birmingham Council. Well, you know what they can do with their flagpole? Shove it up their arseholes. I have to bring you news this morning that is so staggering even my flabber is gasted, that it is being revealed that the NHS is paying £33 for every NHS practice that manages to get somebody off a waiting list. Now, that seems a little cockamamie to me. It seems like they're up to jiggery-pokery and shenanigans, that it is therefore in their interest to get rid of maybe ill people, really ill people, dead people, for example, would be a great way of earning £33. What makes me nervous about our corrupt and evil government, and let's remember, this man, Keir Carrs, look at him with his wig on, is a KC. He is not to be trusted. He is there to argue both sides. Now, for those of you who don't know, a KC will argue, for example, that a PDF file should be let off even when they know that they're guilty. That's a KC's job if they're on their side. They are completely impartial regardless of humanity, right, wrong, or indeed what they personally believe. So you can't trust a KC. So this man, who is ultimately responsible for this country, must have signed that off, must know that £33 of your tax is being given every time they wipe somebody off a waiting list. That's how they're managing to bullshit the figures to make it look like they're coming down. Good news this morning, though, I have to tell you that another pedo's dead. So that's fantastic, bravo, and that makes me very happy. And ahead of the September 13th Freedom Rally, which I will not be attending because I'm banned. If I do attend, I'll go to prison. I'd like to show you what was happening there with a lovely sing-along. Play it in the background, Tarquin. Join in, if you will. Not big crowds. I've got to tell you, this isn't exactly Coldplay, is it? The Kiss Cam isn't working very well at this live concert, but do sing along. All I will say is Mamma Mia's better just round the corner.